Hi everyone, welcome back to Media Law and welcome to my end of Module 3 office hours. It's great to have you here and I hope those of you on campus are enjoying your semester break at the moment. Well, we're halfway through our course now and this office hours is just to go over a couple of little administrative things prior to all of your assessment being due over coming weeks. So the first thing is in coming days you'll need to be submitting your Learning Journal compilation. And I've had a few questions about this from students, so it's worth covering during our office hours segment. Please read the assessment directions very carefully. Some students have asked whether it's 600 words altogether or 600 words for each of the Learning Journal answers, which is 3 times 600 words. 1,800 words, and that is the correct answer. It is indeed 600 words per Learning Journal answer. The second thing I've been asked is whether there's a particular structure that's required, and the answer is no. Many students choose to list those questions that are there and apply them to the particular topic, and you're welcome to do that. You're not expected to have the same amount of answer for each section in each question. And you're also free just to write a full 600 words of prose without subheadings or without those questions being identified, as long as you cover the material that is expected to be covered in your answers. And of course everything has to be fully referenced. And the criteria explain that you do need a few references for each of the answers that you give. Now, a very important point is that there are many possible topic or media law topics that arise with each of the questions. The loosest, the most open, is the first one, where you could really cover a range of topics, and you're welcome to do so. That first topic raises issues of free expression, social media policies, Fair Work Commission cases of unfair dismissal, public service codes of conduct, mindful practice in the use of social media, a whole range of topics. Now, for any of you could go into any of those topic areas or all of them briefly, but it's really up to you how you want to approach it. If you do see media law issues that are covered in the topic area which you don't have the space to cover, then what I suggest you do is just flag that you've identified this topic, but explain that you're concentrating mainly on this other topic area, which is probably the area that is most appropriate to the chapters that we've covered during that module. And remember, the first few chapters were about things like the court system, free expression, mindful practice, those sorts of topics related to media law more generally. The second topic answer fell within the court reporting, crime reporting, open justice, contempt of court chapters. And each of those has a role to play in your answer. That's a good example because there are also defamation issues arising in that second problem. And while you might flag that you've noticed that there could be some defamation issues there, we hadn't yet done defamation. So your main task is to focus on those other issues related to contempt, open justice and crime reporting, particularly identifying the time zone that applies there and what your restrictions may be at that point. Your third one is clearly falling within the weeks we were covering defamation. And again, there could be other topic areas that arise there. Please identify them if you wish, but don't dwell upon them. For example, there could be some consumer law issues arising that you identify there. Please don't dwell on those. You might mention them, but just say that it is meant to be to do with mainly defamation, and perhaps another topic area covered in those chapters, but you'll be focusing on those because we don't actually do consumer law until much later. Aside from that, some of you might be seeking extensions. What we're doing as an extension policy, of course, if there's some medical emergency or some major disaster that's happening in your life, hopefully there's not, but with 400 students, this is bound to happen for some people, and I'm sorry if it has. For those who are just under pressure of time or whatever, we are requiring you to submit with any extension application your progress work that you've done on the first 2 module answers, because these were meant to have been done along the way. So you really do need some good solid drafts of those first 2 answers in order to qualify for an extension for the overall submission. The site explains how to do the submission for this assignment. Put simply, if you did manage to get an extension granted, then you would have that near the front of your assignment package. You would have the cover sheet there attached to that, and you would have each of the 3 journals all strung together with the cover sheet and any extension evidence, all put together into a single document, which you would first run through the draft mechanism for Turnitin, and then once you've got a duplication reading, an academic integrity indication, you would address any problems there and then submit it as your final submission. And that will be the same practice you will follow for your first major assignment, which will be due in a few weeks from now. Look, I think that's basically most of the things that people have been asking me about in my office hours or over email. By all means, email the head tutor for on-campus students, Susan Grantham, or the OUA tutor, Roger Patching, for any other basic inquiries. But I'm also happy, willing and able to answer your queries if you need to speak to me about any of these things. So I really do hope you're getting a lot out of media law so far, and I look forward to working with you through the remaining modules. So bye for now.